Hello, I'm Frank Del Vecchio. Many of you know me because of my experience on our Finance Committee and School Committee here in Mansfield. Now I'm running for Board of Selectmen in the May 13th town election. I'm running for Selectman because I believe in good government. Good government means quality services, good schools, safe streets, well-maintained roads, and efficiently operating utilities at a reasonable cost. Good government doesn't just happen. It takes planning, hard work, conviction, and a vision for the future. For the longest time, it seems that we in Mansfield were focused on the short term, always involved in some kind of budget battle or budget dilemma. Now, thanks to some very hard work by our elected and appointed officials and professional managers, that situation has really improved. This year, like last year, things are calm. But as our Finance Committee points out, there is still a basic problem. There's still a systemic budget gap. This year, closing that gap means that some worthwhile services won't get funded, and meanwhile, our tax bills will still go up. This is not a one-year problem, and it won't go away by itself. How do we break this cycle? How do we achieve the goal of effectively providing the affordable and sustainable services necessary to foster a vital, thriving community? Well, first and foremost, our town leadership needs to pick up the pace and aggressively pursue a well-thought-out plan for economic development. We've had all kinds of studies. We know what the issues are and the steps that must be taken. We have a hardworking and dedicated planning board. What we lack is a sense of urgency and a sense of purpose. We are moving too slowly, and I want to change that. Secondly, we need to effectively market Mansfield's positive characteristics. A recent study done for our neighbors in Easton noted that success in bringing business into the community is strongly related to having a marketing plan. That's not a surprising conclusion. But as of now, we don't have an industrial development committee or economic development commission to oversee the development of a plan or actively pursue businesses to locate in Mansfield. And it's been that way for quite a while. We need to pick up the pace. As selectman, my priority will be to bring focus and a sense of urgency to our economic development efforts. I will work with my fellow board members and anyone else with good ideas to pursue and attract business to Mansfield, because it's essential to the growth of Mansfield's tax base and vital to the long-term maintenance of our quality services and quality of life. I also believe that as citizens, we should have the tools we need to judge how well our government is doing. Having this information builds trust and confidence and encourages more people to take a more active role in town government. To that end, town hall should provide thorough, transparent, understandable, and easily accessible financial and policy information. We should have an up-to-date, user-friendly website that provides accurate, useful information both for us and for anyone else who wants to learn more about our town. Our budget should describe the services we provide and should explain significant changes rather than just list line items. We should produce financial statements in the form of a CAFR, or Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, which has become the reporting standard for local governments nationally, and our CAFR should be of sufficient quality to be recognized for excellence by the Government Finance Officers Association. The list goes on, and we need someone on the Board of Selectmen who will advocate for these important improvements and who won't back down. Now, I've lived in Mansfield for 17 years, and my wife Debbie and I have raised 2 children here. My daughter, Devin, is a junior in college, and my son, Ford, is a freshman at Mansfield High School. We love this community and want to see it thrive. On Tuesday, May 13th, there will be 4 candidates on the ballot for 2 open seats on the Board of Selectmen. Now, the other candidates seem fixed on keeping things the way they are, on, quote, not stirring the pot. I can understand that sentiment. We've gone through a lot of upheaval in our local government over the last several years. But that head in the sand attitude is not going to get us where we need to be. It's important that we all work together to achieve the best possible results. But sometimes you just have to rock the boat. And the record shows I'm not afraid to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. Mansfield has weathered its growing pains and has become a solid, mature community. It will take hard work, determination, and vision to keep it that way. As your selectman, I will work hard to keep Mansfield on the move. I welcome your support and ask for your vote on Tuesday, May 13th. Thank you.
My name is Vic Lehman. I'm running for the Mansfield Board of Selectmen. I've been a resident of Massachusetts since 1968. I've also had the opportunity to live and travel all over the United States, and there's something uniquely special about southeastern Massachusetts. After high school, I joined the U.S. Army and I worked as a helicopter mechanic. After the Army, I pursued an FAA airframe and power plant license and an engineering degree. In the course of my career, I've worked as a mechanic, a machinist, a welder, and a test engineer for prototype and production machinery in the energy industry. When I was a kid, this state was an industrial powerhouse. Massachusetts was a destination for professionals and skilled labor alike. Over the course of years, regulation and high taxation have driven away many of those businesses. This, compounded by new restrictive laws, has caused tens of thousands of Massachusetts residents to vote with their feet and give up on the Bay State. This is a trend that can and must be reversed. My political philosophy is rooted in the Founding Fathers' belief that this government exists to protect the life, liberty, and property of the people. I don't believe the proper role of government is to micromanage the private lives of its citizens or dictate through excessive regulation the way businesses should run. If you share these convictions, I ask you for your vote May 13th.
Hello, my name is Steve Schoenfeld, and I am running for a seat on the Board of Selectmen. As the current Vice Chair of the Mansfield Finance Committee, I have gained an in-depth understanding of the challenges we face over the next few years. As a town, we need to make the choices that provide opportunities. If elected, I will do everything possible to make the most of Mansfield by 1, using taxpayer money efficiently and responsibly, 2, making profitable town investments that have a high likelihood of success, and 3, supporting our schools so that our kids have the best opportunities. Let's start with using taxpayer money efficiently and responsibly. To make the most of Mansfield, we need more opportunities to grow our tax revenue in a thoughtful way. Each year, our expenses grow faster than our revenues, and we end up having to make sacrifices within our budgets. Those sacrifices have consequences, like increased class sizes, potholes in our roads, and delays in our infrastructure development. This is inefficient and absolutely unsustainable. We can make the most of town revenue by carefully analyzing initiatives based on their potential cost benefit to the town and taking advantage of widely available grant opportunities. Next, making investments that are profitable and have a high likelihood of success. We need to make certain that every new initiative delivers the greatest net gain to Mansfield, from zoning changes to open spaces planning and the initiatives currently outlined in our strategic plan. We need to make decisions based on facts and not impressions. We need to review them for their potential net gain to the town. The Board of Selectmen is indeed responsible for encouraging a culture in which committees and boards and departments ask this question as they develop their long-term plans and goals. Net gain is an honest assessment of an initiative and how it may increase tax revenues in the future, less any potential offset that might come from increased expenses. The assessment should also factor in the impact on neighborhoods, lifestyles, and the culture of the town. Therefore, while tax revenue is an important consideration, net gain is not strictly financial. It also includes enhancing the lives of our neighbors. Finally, supporting our schools. Before I started working as an actuary in the financial services industry, I was a high school and college math teacher. I know what it's like to teach a class of 30-plus students and to see over 200 students a day in my classroom. I know what it is like to work and teach with inadequate resources and to just have to deal with it. Education is a significant part of our budget. Over 65% of the current overall town budget is school-related. That's up from 50% less than 5 years ago. Declining enrollment, now at approximately 200 students a year, and lower state subsidies demand that town revenues increase in order to maintain a balanced budget. To tackle this challenge, I will start with a detailed financial review of the impact of the decline in enrollment on our school and town budgets. This detailed review is critical to preventing additional budget sacrifices from impacting the town. This is why we, as a finance committee, have encouraged the development of 5-year budget forecasts in order to help the town make well-informed decisions. As a committee, we observed short-sighted decisions being made and asked ourselves how we could help committees, boards, and departments stay focused on the long term. The 5-year projection is a good way to enhance our strategic initiative pursuits and to address this challenge. As Vice Chair of the Finance Committee, I have witnessed a significant change in the tone of the conversation in town management just in the past few years. I've seen many committees, boards, and individuals working together to compromise to come to agreement. Some credit must be given to this Finance Committee that's in place today. We set goals for the budget process. We established and applied policies for items such as the use of free cash and the prioritization of capital improvements. As a result, we, as an entire group of town and school leaders, have achieved balanced budgets and have done so in a collegial and a supportive way. But we have much more work to do. We still face many challenges in this slowly recovering economy. We can tackle these challenges in the coming years as long as we continue these collaborative efforts. In closing, I'd like to thank the current members of the Board of Selectmen for their faith in me and my colleagues as a Finance Committee. This support has been invaluable. I'd also like to thank Kevin Moran for his years of service to the town, and I hope that he does remain involved. Finally, I thank you for your time and ask you to remember this. If you want a selectman who will seek to make the most of Mansfield, then vote for me, Steve Schoenfeld, on May 13th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jess Aptowitz. I live at 30 Fieldstone Drive, and I am a candidate for re-election to the Mansfield Board of Selectmen. I would like to highlight accomplishments over the past 6 years, and I look forward to serving the townspeople for another 3-year term if so elected. I would like to first thank Kevin Moran. Kevin, unfortunately, due to personal reasons and other requirements, will not be able to run again this year. Kevin has been a calming effect on the board, and he's worked very hard and diligently throughout his term, and I wish him, his wife, and kids all the best in their future endeavors. And during my term, we've hired Mr. Ross. I was a member of the Town Manager Search Committee that brought Mr. Ross in, and I think he's doing an excellent job. You could tell by his reviews that he's done a great job, and we look forward to keeping that moving forward. We've been faced with serious issues that have worked very diligently hard getting them resolved for the town of Mansfield. One thing is we've developed a one town, one budget methodology. The town manager and the superintendent work together. They sit down, they get the job done, and that's what we want. We want no more fighting, no more last minute budget issues that have come about in the past years. We now have a strategic plan. People of Mansfield demanded this, and we've accomplished this. We talked about the budget. We have full transparency and have all the information available to the people well in advance of the annual town meeting. We've been able to fund the needs of the town and the schools with no overrides. No withdrawals from the stabilization fund. In fact, we are adding to the stabilization fund with the current budget in front of us now. We need to develop new resources of revenue without impacting the taxes to our current taxpayers. And we are doing this by looking at several issues, and a couple just to point out would be potential reuses of land parcels. And one of the hot buttons now is the chocolate factory. That is one issue. The treasurer collector has several properties that she could sell at tax title to bring in one-time revenue. For those of you who don't know, this is my 11th budget cycle for the town. I'm well experienced in municipal finance, having served on the FinCom and Board of Selectmen. I've spent several years in the public accounting arena, auditing municipalities, for instance, such as the towns of Weymouth and Hingham, and as well as auditing several municipal light plants, such as Taunton Municipal Light, Hingham Light, and Ipswich Electric. Some of the things that we've done the revitalization project for the South Common, which included the Corey Shea Memorial Flagpole. Myself and John Hogan worked together to raise $50,000 privately to get that project completed. Looking at Mansfield Municipal Electric Department, I motioned this year, and we did it in prior years, for a return to the ratepayers of $2 million. And this was seen in their January and February electric bills as credits to their electric bill. This way, we felt that the electric department was gathering too much cash, and we wanted to find a way to give that back to the people. Future goals. We will need to continue working together on a one town, one budget model. We need to continue the revitalization project of the North Common. We need to maintain their infrastructure, including all the roads, utilities, and all municipal buildings, including all the school buildings. I've been involved now with this budget season on my 11th budget, as I mentioned earlier. I've served on the Audit Committee, and I'm currently the acting chair. I served on the Capital Improvements Committee. I've been on the Budget Subcommittee for the Board of Selectmen. I started the Comcast Xfinity Licensing Committee process where in the past administration, we were handed a license agreement at a selectmen's meeting asking us to sign it with not having any input to it. Now we sit down, we spend 6 months on this process, and we have a good feeling and understanding and working relationship with the folks over at the Xfinity Center. I've been the chair of the Board of Selectmen for 2 years, and I've been the chair of the Electric Department for 2 years.